Today's the day we build the body. So we spent most of the winter and all of spring mounting all the individual pieces, and today going to put them all back on. So just as a reminder, keeping the straight eights, we move the straight eight back 6 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the cowl on. That's where we're going to start, piece number 1. Kind of set where everything begins, and then we'll build the front end and we'll build the back. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cowl on. Poof! Magic! Cowl is on. So what I did is I set the cowl 8 inches back, cut the firewall out. I got plenty of room to work on this engine, pull it in and out. And I just made some simple brackets to hold it in place, bolt everything to the frame, so that the frame will be my consistent, everything will be based off of it. Next, radiator core support. So put the core support in. I did, again, just make some simple mounts in advance, carefully making sure I had everything where I wanted it. Go ahead and bolt that in. So now, the core support and the cowl are all on the same center line, equally spaced on the frame. So this is my base. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and put the rear package tray on, same thing, keeping it centered on the frame, and we'll build the whole car from there. Now I've added the package tray. I had to pay really careful attention to the height. So actually this package tray is lower than it would be in the car from where I started, because I want the car to taper in the back. I want it to like drop off a little bit in the back, and I want it to get narrower. So we're going to really do some interesting things back here. But to set the package tray, again, just some simple square tube supports bolted to the frame, and then I bolted a center bar on the center line of the car that goes from the cowl to the package tray to keep the height right, keep it positioned right, and with a little bit of cross bracing, keeps it nice and stable. You can see now that my frame is essentially my body jig. So now we're going to move on from here and throw the front fenders on. Start to figure out what the front end might look like. Poof! Once again, fenders are on. Everything lined up because I kept that center line from the core support to the cowl to the back. Fenders bolted right on. You can see in moving everything back, where the wheel used to be is now up here. So I cut the fenders out so that sometime in the future we'll modify the fenders to move the wheel arch on the center line of the axle. One of the things I wasn't happy with though when I put it together is I thought the fenders were too far back. So I wanted to move them forward because it eliminated all of the overhang here in front. So I'll zoom in here in a second. You'll see that actually moved the fenders 2 inches to the front. quite simply, I just took the existing fender mount right here, made a tab, extended it, so now I have a 2-inch gap between the fender and the cowl, and when the fender would fit the A-pillar. So we'll do something in the future, not exactly sure what that would be, but filler piece, extend this, don't really know, we'll kind of see when we make some decisions of what we're going to do with the windshield. Alright, thought it'd be fun now. Let's go ahead and put the hood on, kind of get a sense of what the front end's going to look like. Of course, you got to get a scammer call while you're putting the hood on. But that's what the front end's going to look like. Not sure what we're going to do with the grill. I can tell you it's definitely going to be shorter. And you can see by this hole how far back everything went on the frame, because that's the old radiator core support. Okay, front end's done. Kind of curious to see what it'll look like with the doors on. Changed my mind. Doors are too heavy for me to put on by myself, so gotta wait for Frank. So I thought I'd throw the trunk on. So you can see from the trunk's shortened up quite a bit, and in order to set the trunk on, I had to shorten the rear frame about 14 inches. So 14 inches of overhang are being taken off the back of the car, so should have a short little back end. It's the next day. Frank's home. Frank, help me put the doors on. So now we got the doors here, and we'll show a close-up in a minute, but the door should be here. We're going to cheat it in probably 4 inches on each side so that the Packard tapers in the back. This is where the Packard door should be. We're going to pull it back like this, so it's about 4 inches in, so we can get a nice teardrop effect. You can tell we moved the Packard. It's no longer in the middle. Technically, it's in storage. Going to stop working on it for a little while. Got other priorities that need attention. It's time to finish this. So next videos, start working on the Nash.